Right, people, with that, we're going to be approaching. Let's share some words, some thoughts on 2020 coming up, people. Now, what I'd like to say is that this is a great time. There's a social spirit to kind of reflect, to kind of set yourself new goals, to set targets, objectives that are actually, feasible, ones that you can actually achieve, inshallah, or at least set out to achieve. This is the time, people. And what I would like to say is that look forward, look ahead, look upwards with great optimism. The hadith teaches us that أَنَا عِنْدَ عَبْدِي كَظَنِّهِ بِي, that Allah will treat his slave as his slave anticipates. This, in another rendition, is what people have termed things like the laws of attraction in the universe. Be optimistic. I'm telling you, I don't know why, but I sense a great, in these last few weeks and coming up to a new decade, a new year, I feel a great spirit of optimism. I don't even know why. I honestly don't, but I mean, okay, I've got some idea, but I don't know exactly why, but I do feel this great spirit of positivity. And I think it's really, reinvigorated me. And I would say set these goals, if they're goals about your health, for example. If it's about, for some people, I know a lot of people, they always want to do things like go to the gym. Go to the gym. I mean, it is possible. If you wanted to, if there's health issues, you wanted to improve your health, improve your physique, or improve certain things, do it. It is now, people, that this is the time, right? Life is not, it is 90% of life is just turning up, just being there. And then the rest is that determination. So you can do it. Don't be undermined. Don't be kind of like low-spirited. If it's, if you've wanted to embark on some business trip, business kind of venture, some entrepreneurial kind of trip, metaphorically speaking, do it if you can. I've always encouraged, people around me who are my friends, family, whatever, people like that, I've always encouraged people to try to become entrepreneurs. I've said, not when I say always, in recent, so many, in the most recent decade, or at least this last decade of my life, I've said that, look, business is the way forward. And it doesn't have to be big business in the sense that you don't have to think like, people say, well, what can I do? Oh my God, I'm like this. I'm like, just think out of the box. And it doesn't have to be like you have to go open a restaurant. I mean, I'm sure you can do that, but it doesn't have to mean that. Nowadays, there's so many things. You could be working from home. Just think about what you're good at, or it's opportunities. You will start to see opportunities in everything. I mean, just think about this for a moment, that look, I mean, you can't see much here, but every single thing you can see. I mean, whether it's this, whether it's what it's been varnished with, the actual shelves, the books, the casing, the piece of paper, the way these have been bound. I mean, there's not even much here besides that. This phone, this table, drink, anything, everything we are seeing around us. I mean, you can't see the carpet, the kind of seating I'm sitting on. It was all at one point an idea in the mind of an individual. they put that idea to the real world, and what you're seeing now is its fruition. So it is definitely possible, whatever you're thinking, you're aspiring to. It may be about learning, it may be about developing yourself. If that be the case, then do it. Maybe it was about learning a language. Maybe it was about learning Arabic. Maybe it was about learning something else. I tell you, Arabic is a beautiful language. It's an amazing language. I would say to people, if you've not learnt Arabic, learn it. It's not going to take you that long. If you had begun in January 2019, now you would have known Arabic. It's as simple as that. And the amount of technology we have today, you can get onto apps, you can get onto websites, you can use things online. You can nowadays, I'm studying Spanish, and what I do is when I'm watching things on Netflix or other things, I always put on the Spanish subtitles. I actually look out for Spanish stuff to watch. And so this is an example. You can learn. Maybe you want to learn something practical as science. Maybe you want to learn Islamic stuff. You want to study hadith. You want to study fiqh. You want to study these things. If you want to study fiqh, then what better than the School of Medina? I've already got some courses on YouTube. I've got a beginner's course, Ashmawiya. I've got an intermediary course, the Foundations of Islam by Qadi Iyad, the great legend of Muslim Spain. I mean, the world is your oyster, people. But what I would say is that look back. I don't know how old people are who are going to be watching this. But if you have lived a certain amount, I mean, obviously, if you're going to be something like 18, then a decade ago you were only 8. Which, wow, when I think about it, because Layla, my daughter, is 8. And so, but if you've lived considerably longer and you can remember back to the last decade, just think about it. I mean, when I'm just sharing with you in this last decade, the amount of things I've been through, my views, the way they've changed exponentially. I mean, they've, there's been an explosion of thought. All these openings, if I can say that, whether it's been on things in the Quran, very difficult questions, they've all really just unraveled to me in this last decade. I've discussed things about miracles within the Quran, the voice of reason, evolution, science, quantum physics, psychology, finished my psychology degree, all of these things just within this last decade, involved in different businesses, part of in the past, I mean, I suppose early this last decade, teaching profession, just learning Spanish, doing all of these things when I'm just thinking about them. I mean, for me, both of my daughters were born within this decade. I mean, it's so much when we think about it has happened. And when you think about it, I'm talking about you individually thinking about your own life. That, just take a moment and let that kind of sink in. That, wow. And let it, let your life be colorful like that. Let it be an immense amount of memories. Right. But at the same time, don't let your memories eclipse or be greater than your dreams. Still dream as well. Have ambitions. You can do that. And during, I mean, maybe when you're thinking back, some of you have been through some difficult times. Maybe, I mean, some people may have overcome illnesses. Some people may have lost family members during this last decade. Some people may have gone through personal struggles. They may have gone through divorces. They may have got married. They may have, there may have been so much going on with certain people. But this is life, people. Uh, I had my vacation. When I think back now, my incarceration, that whole experience. In fact, it's so shocking that the whole thing, I almost see part of life as pre and post. It's like 9/11. Everything is, before or after 9/11 almost. So, in your own way, think about your own life like that. And a decade has been, and now we are embarking on a new decade. Think about it. At the beginning of this decade, most of us were probably never on Facebook. We were not on probably social media. Social media wasn't as powerful as it is now in 2010. So, and where will we be in 2030 if, if we have life? But and with that, I would say, just emphasizing this thing that, look, I've said this before, that psychology has shown us through longitudinal studies that the mind, it compresses memories. Okay, so repetitive things are kind of crushed in and it's almost compressed to save space, if you like. So if you're going to work every day, you're going to work every day, and I ask you that, okay, I want you to think back to, let's say, I don't know, December the 3rd, and you're going to work. Describe to me your journey to work, your route to work. Now, unless something exceptional happened on that date, you won't be able to remember it. You'll remember going to work, but you won't remember that specific day, because memory doesn't work like that. So when things are mundane and monotonous, the mind will compress them. Okay, it's almost like a space-saving kind of mechanism. Now, what we don't want to do is kind of have our entire lives compressed. So variate things, do things, pick up skills, learn things, embark on endeavors, make new friends, do different things. So I feel that this is really so important. And I want to stress something here. This is really important, that you see, we as human beings judge ourselves by those around us because we're social creatures. And that is inevitable. But just be wary. Know that what you see on social media, most of it is very unreal. Okay. Some of it is real, but I feel that, and this is why I'm, not, even though I use social media and I do like it, but I'm simultaneously very aware of its kind of side effects. If you stay on social media, the way you become glued to it, like for an hour or two, and you come away, it actually, you can sense that how this can trigger depression in people. Because you see, what happens is, unless you're living an exhilarating, exciting life, all you see is all these things at once, and a lot of them are not even so, a lot of them are not genuine. See, this is the problem. So me and some friends, we got into this discussion about what's the big deal. If people are, for example, filtering things, or they're doing things, or what's the big deal? It's still them. But I felt that the truth is, in many of these cases, they're not actually doing these things. People do things just for show, and they don't live like that. It's different if they did, and they're just being vain, or they just like to show. That's up to them. It's their life. But people will buy clothing, take photographs, and return it. You see, this is actually, I'm not making this stuff up. This has been documented, that so many people are like buying clothes from catalogs and different kind of outlets, and they're just wearing them to take some photos and returning them, just so they can put these on. And this isn't like a total one-off thing. So this goes to show that obviously our virtual lives mean more to us than our actual lives. So I wanted to say that don't look, participate all you can in social media, all you want, sorry. Participate all you want. But make your real life carry meaning, not just your virtual life. And I would say, and you don't need to take this part, you can throw it in the bin, but I would say, let there be some mystery to your life. You don't need to reveal everything to people out there. I personally don't, and this is just how I see life. But I mean, maybe people that are watching me will see it differently. But I would say that let there be some mystery to your life. That not everybody needs to know everything about you out there. So these things, bi'idhnillah, inshallah, have tawakkul. Great things are yet to come. I wanted to really share that with you guys because I feel that yes, some people were saying that look, everyone's life seems better than yours and it's depressing. That is true. Sometimes you come away from here and you can feel a bit down, and you can think, bloody hell, like why am I feeling a bit down? And you can see the impact these things have. And I'm not trying to say that this is evil, evil, evil. I'd just be a hypocrite if I was saying that. But I'm just saying be wary, that's all. You don't need to do something for yourself. So, but it is important to to set some of these goals. But guys, be optimistic, okay? It's another day, which means another opportunity at whatever it is you're trying. So cool. All right.